welcome back to Calavera Beach. Today, we're going to be doing loads of suburban expansion. All these suburbs you see are going to extend much, much further, and it's going to look like a true Californian suburb, and it's pretty much just going to be that all episode. A couple parks, loads of houses. Let's get straight into it. Alrighty, so here we are. Yeah, this is pretty much what we're going to be doing all episode. Loads and loads of suburbs. I just really needed to expand the main suburban core of Calavera Beach just because I need more stuff to take cinematics of, honestly. Like, I've just been taking a lot of the shoreline. We needed some more, and yeah, just wanted to grind through it in one episode. We shouldn't be doing too much more tedious suburban work for a while, hopefully. I want to work on some stuff in the hills soon, but probably next episode. Next episode we're going to be working on a high school, but the episode after that, I do want to possibly go back to the shoreline, maybe build a resort or two. That could be cool. But for now, we are working on suburbs here. So, obviously, Calavera Beach is based on Laguna Beach, California. So, Laguna Beach is a town or a city of like 30,000 people, I think. It's pretty big, so I'm going to try to make the suburban core of Calavera Beach about the same size as Laguna's. Excuse the airplane in the background, but right now that means, we're going to have a lot more ground to cover. This is by no means the end of our suburban builds. We're probably going to have like 10 times what we've got right now in terms of suburbs. Just a lot of them will be up in the hills and a lot more interesting to build. But I'm trying to develop my technique for working on Californian builds right now because I obviously am new to this sort of theme. So it's nice to develop my technique here. But right here, I wanted to keep the nature a little bit more prominent. And yeah, so the suburbs themselves, from area to area, will differ. I'll go heavier on certain styles of buildings depending on which area I'm in and what feel I want it to have. So it's not going to be extremely homogeneous. So I'm mixing a bunch of different house packs here. So there's the American Eclectic house pack, which you'll see every once in a while. I don't use that too much because it's relatively... it's too clean for what I'm going for. Laguna Beach is very eclectic, and I know the name of the American Eclectic Suburban Pack includes the word eclectic, but it is sort of the opposite. It's very homogeneous in terms of the style of houses. So I wanted to go for something a little bit more interesting. Loads of different types of houses. It's what you see around this part of California. I'm going to have some trouble when I get down towards the shoreline and up into the hills in terms of finding houses that'll work well. The person who made the SoCal Suburban Houses pack, Loupo, I believe is how you pronounce it. Loupo is working on a mansions, like a California mansions pack, which is going to be unbelievable with like a couple different varieties, and I think it's going to be more than enough to get me through the hills and the shoreline. I really can't wait for that to be done. Also, I just wanted to note something. I checked the average viewer retention on the latest episode of New Windsor, and it was like 7 minutes, which is absurd. So, and I think that's about the average for the channel. So viewer retention is how long people view the video before clicking off, and usually it's a really low number, like a minute or less. Like a minute is even good, but we've got like 7 minutes as the average. So out of the, say, 7,000 people who view a video, you know, the average, the mean viewing time is 7 minutes, which is ridiculous. That means there have to be a load of people watching the whole way through to boost that number up to 7 minutes. It's crazy. So thank you all for that. It's great. I mean, this style of video within City Skylines is, you know, I mean, I feel like it's unique in that it allows you to just watch the whole video through and usually not get too bored. It's almost like a podcast combined with a design video, combined with a gaming video. It's really unique. It's a weird little specific area within the gaming world. And I don't even know if I'd say it's within the gaming world. Somehow we're getting into the political world as well with like Do Not Eat making City Skylines videos. It's weird, but it's so much fun. I'm really loving it. And, you know, usually at this point in making videos, a lot of people feel burnt out. You know, I've been making these videos for 2 years now, probably more at this point. And, you know, I'm really enjoying it. Like, I'm not burnt out whatsoever. I'm actually more motivated than ever. I'm ready to start the 3rd series. I'm still thinking of what that's going to be. I looked at all the suggestions on the last episode of New Windsor, and whatever I choose will be something that I really do legitimately want to build. But people have been given some great ideas, and I'll talk about that a little bit more, probably in the next New Windsor episode. This video is the first in hopefully a streak of many that will be a second video within the week. Or, well, really the first within the week, because this is going to be uploaded on a Tuesday if all goes as planned. Meaning New Windsor should be out on Saturday. But, yeah, I'm trying to get this two-day-a-week thing going. I waited until I had some more time to start piling up episodes before I actually started to do it. I just wanted to get the, you know, I've had the 1 day a week video thing going for a couple months now, and it's been going great, but I'm ready to optimize my editing and, you know, make the videos a little bit shorter and, you know, upload them twice a week. I've gone over this rant a lot of times, but this video ended up being pretty long. How long is this? This is like over 25 minutes. It was actually longer, but I had to cut some time-lapse out. It is a little bit of a repetitive episode, but hopefully you're able to manage. So it's about at this point in the episode where I start just placing houses and then detailing them later because I want to start being a little bit more efficient. And I built these really long blocks, which seem a little bit unrealistic at first glance, but they are really not when you look at a lot of the areas in Laguna, loads and loads of long blocks like this on the hills, and you'll have these just avenues that are going east-west, I believe it's east-west, that are level where they meet, and those are usually the bike roads, because what they've done in Laguna Beach is Pacific Coast Highway, which is the main road by the beach, is just a really awful place to ride a bike. So they reroute bicyclists to the hills. You go up an avenue or two, there aren't really as many cars parked on the roads, so you're not going to get doored. There aren't necessarily bike lanes, but there are bike decals on the road, whatever that does. But essentially, it's a lot safer to ride a bike once you go up into the hills. So whenever I ride through Laguna, I always ride through the hills rather than on Pacific Coast Highway, or I'll ride, closer to the beach, because sometimes there are roads which you can do that on, except the buses in, like, the trolleys, which we're going to build a trolley system a little later. That'll be a lot of fun, but not in this episode, but like a while from now. But can't wait for that. But the trolleys in Laguna Beach are whatever fuel they run on. It really, really stinks to be right behind them. I might have mentioned this before, but I was riding through Laguna a little while ago, and there's a massive trolley. I can't see past it, so I can't pass it on the left, and whatever is the emissions from it it was just terrible. So riding in Laguna is overall not a lot of fun, unless you're able to get up in the hills and do some really fun, steep climbs. Then that's a lot of fun. But I will not be catering to cyclists in this city any more than Laguna does, because I'm trying to stay realistic here. I do add a bike path, I added a bike path like earlier in the series. You saw probably like episode 2, added a bike path, which is actually probably more generous than Laguna. I don't think there are any bike paths in Laguna. It's that bad. But yeah, I will add some mountain bike trails, which I really can't wait to do, just up in the hills. But first, I'm waiting for those mansion assets so that we can have some realistic houses facing the water. Really crazy high value real estate that's going to be. Alright, so we've been placing a lot of stuff, but not detailing it. We covered a lot of ground, but everything we built is essentially not detailed whatsoever. So, what we're going to do now is we're going to take a look at all of the stuff we just placed in the past time-lapse segment. Then, we're going to start detailing. Alright, so we've been doing loads and loads of detailing here. You're probably very tired of it by now, but don't worry, we're not going to need to do a lot more of this for a while. We're going to be starting to work on some stuff near the shoreline and in the hills, hopefully, very, very soon. And that's going to be the core of the series. I really can't wait. Another thing I want to go do a little later in the series is go back to downtown and revise what we've worked on, because downtown's cool, but it could be more interesting, and I want to slowly go through that area and make it more like Laguna, because Laguna's downtown is really, really, really interesting, and this one looks a little bit too generic. So as we build out the city and figure out what we want to do there, I'll head back and do a little work on it, because obviously that is the center of the city, and, you know, it needs to be realistic, interesting, and true to what the goal was for it, which is a really cool, artsy little district. So, yeah. Anyway, hopefully you all enjoyed. Pretty long video today. Don't expect too many more of these videos of this length, but expect a lot more videos overall. New Windsor should be out on Saturday. We're going to be starting the actual wharves. Somebody in the comments said that, actually, I forget which order it was, but either wharfs or wharves was more British than American, and vice versa. But I don't remember which one is more British and which one is more American. Whatever. I'll just use them interchangeably. We start on the wharves in the next episode of New Windsor, and it's gonna be great. Really happy with it. It's gonna be a very slow build, but I'm really pumped to see how it turns out, because it's gonna be the most detailed part of the city, and it's gonna look really cool. So yeah, hopefully you all enjoyed this episode of Calavera Beach. If you did, make sure to leave a like. It really does help a lot, helps more than you think. And leave a comment with your suggestions for the city. I'll respond to as many comments as I can, and make sure you know that I read every single comment, so even if I don't respond to it, I've read it. But yeah, subscribe if you're new around here, and hit the bell icon next to the subscribe button to get notified whenever I upload a video, so you never miss an upload. Follow me on Twitter to see if I'm gonna mess up on my 2 uploads a week schedule, which will happen at some point in the future. If you follow me there, you'll know. But for now, it's Tuesday, Saturday, and no particular order in terms of like which series goes when. For now, it's just Calavera Beach, Tuesday, New Windsor, Saturday, but might change. But yeah, follow me on Instagram, post my best screenshots from the game there. You definitely don't want to miss them. And yeah, I'll see you next time.